PGA Tour winner Fred Funk and 2005 US Open champion Michael Campbell. So round of applause here to applaud them. Gentlemen, please take a seat here. Who wants to hold the mic first? There we are, there's a mic for you and I'll be interviewing you both. Hi. Ah, I don't think you need one, do you? There you go. Want to get lower? Ah, there we have it. Thank you for taking your time post-round to be with us here this afternoon. We've got a special competition for everyone out here today. Whoever asks you both the best question, you get to nominate the winner, gets a bottle of Whispering Angel. No pressure, if you want that bottle of rose, as you mentioned, the man at the front said he's already had one. That's what you get. Second place gets a box of chocolates, okay? So I'm going to start you all off, warm you up, ask you the first question. Both 1 under for today, great round of golf out there. How was it? Firstly to you, Fred.
I'm glad to be here. Spectacular golf course is beautiful. It's very difficult though. If you get one a little astray, it ends up in where you just don't want it to be. Still trying to figure out these par 5s. There's a lot of bunkers on those par 5s. They seem to be all right where I want to hit it. So it's a little difficult there. I haven't played those too well all week. But it's spectacular golf course. The fact that the beauty of these dunes and how he ran the holes through these dunes are spectacular. I've never seen anything like it. So it's a joy to play. It's difficult. You got to definitely be paying attention. It feels like, to me, you almost have to just suck it up and just say, I got to put my best swing on it right here. If you try to not hit it where you don't want to hit it, then you're playing real defensively, and then you end up hitting the crap anyway. So you just got to put a good swing on it and go out there and enjoy it.
You mentioned to me yesterday, you actually compared it a bit like a pinball machine, told you all the elements, but you have learned to appreciate and to love links courses, haven't you?
No, yeah, it is, but the pinball machine is Royal St. George. That's a 200-acre pinball machine. This really doesn't go plinko around. This one, when it goes in the crap, it stays in the crap.
And what about you, Michael? How do you make of the great dunes of Scotland?
Yeah, I think visually it's probably the best course I've ever played. Those dunes are amazing. Did a great job in preparation for the golf course this week, and it's a joy to play. I think we've got lucky the last couple of days with the weather. Definitely, I played on on Monday and Tuesday, and I was walking around the golf course thinking, okay, I think probably +6 is going to win this tournament. We've been very fortunate indeed. The weather's been fantastic the last couple of days. Not much wind. If it blows 20 or 30 miles an hour here, you're in deep trouble. As Fred said before, it's a tough golf course. You need to commit to every single shot to your certain area of the green or the fairway itself, and avoid those fairway bunkers because they're very penal. But it's a fun course to play.
Absolutely. We've had a good couple of days here. It's been very, very sunny, similar to Spain where you're living at the minute, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I'm going to open it up to the floor now. These gentlemen are sitting front row for a reason, aren't you? Because you're eager to ask these gents a question. Who wants to go first? Look, they're beer drinkers. They're not into their rosé, are they? They don't fancy the rosé. Oh, here we go, gentleman at the back. Let me come over to you. What's your name, first of all? Where'd you come from?
Lovely, local.
Same question for both of you. Have you ever been given a tip or golfing tip or advice that stayed with you for your whole career?
Wow.
Who wants to go first?
I have to think about that. I think my first coach was my father when I was 7 years old, and he always said to me, keep it simple. So that's probably what I've done over the last 50 years or 48 years as a player, because unfortunately there's a lot of information out there, especially now with YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, of misinformation. Coaches jump on, depending who wins that week or that year, who's playing well, they kind of copy it. To me, that's dangerous. So it's all about having a system to filter all that bullshit out, really. There's a lot of crap out there. It's true. It's true. You know, you agree, Fred? I mean, there's so much stuff out there is just so false and not correct, but they're making money from it. So you got to be careful. So my first lesson, what I remember as a father, saying to me, keep it simple.
It's funny when you look at these magazines that you get every week, and there's, I don't know how many different magazines, Golf Digest and on, Golf World, and they always have the tip section. Well, they got to come up with something different every month, every week, whatever it is, and you just see these tips from the pros, and some of them are like, what the hell are they thinking? I mean, that's crazy. But and then there's some of them you go, I'm going to try that. Well, and that screws you up. But one of the best tip I ever got was actually from Trevino. So Trevino never really thinks of positions of the golf swing or positions of where the hands need to be at the top or at the back or on the follow through. It's all about, because everybody's different. I mean, you think of the guys, the greats of the games, you couldn't have a more different swing than a Raymond Floyd, Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus. They all did Trevino, Gary stepping through. You have all these greats, and you very seldom had a guy that looked like an Adam Scott. Sam Snead, I think, is, in my mind, probably the most athletic guy that ever played a game of golf. And Hogan, yeah, Hogan was, well, Hogan had a, I don't know whether he was as natural. I never looked at Hogan as being as natural as Sam Snead, but then you have your Ernie Els, and I look at Justin Rose now, and the guys that swing, God, it's just perfect. You know, they look like they'll never hit a bad shot. But with all that being said, Lee said, the back of the left hand is the base of the club. Wherever that goes, the base of the club goes. So you just think of, you want impact, you want the back of that left hand to square up to the ball, and he's just trying to hit the ball as hard as he can with the back of his left hand. Yeah, it might work. It works really good. And then with the short game, the same thing. If you want to keep the face open, you just think of the face and that hand, and you're in a bunker, you're slapping it that way. Or you want to turn one over, you want to hit one hard, you want to hit one low. He's just trying to do it with ball position and where that back of that left hand is. And I thought that was the best tip I've ever heard in my life. It's just pretty simple. And it works throughout the game. With the short game, I mean, think of putting. I mean, if that left hand is going one way or the other, that basically you have no chance of making it. So you can see how important that would be, and then it's just a matter of finding the bottom. And probably the most important thing in the game of golf is impact zone. And it's from the short game all the way through to the driver, but especially, you know, those little chip shots, and you're hitting the ground this far behind it before you get the ball, or you're hitting the middle of the ball before you get to the ground, and you know, whichever one, you got to try to just clip it and have it right at the bottom. So there's a lot to be said with just feeling that club is just an extension of that left arm and the left hand, and that base is matching it. So I thought that was a great tip.
Brilliant. A little bit of insight for everyone here. There you go. Perhaps that on the golf course. We've got another gentleman for a question.
My favourite club in my bag is a Ping 2-iron from 1997. I'm stuck with it. Question to both yourselves. Are you playing like a brand new set just now, or is any old favourites in the bag which you've stuck with for quite a few years?
1997. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I love it.
Obviously, it's a mental thing, because if you think about it, in technology, it's like if you buy a car in 97 compared to a car in 2023, it's a massive difference.
So I've got Mura irons and a Ping 2-iron, and I like the two, so it works.
Is it Ping I2?
Yeah, a Zing 2.
Ping I2?
A Zing 2.
Oh, Zing 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a, right when hybrids came out, I got the first hybrid still in my bag, whatever year that was. That had to be late 90s, I think. So I got a 4-iron hybrid that's still in my bag that's probably made me more money than any other club in my bag. Because back in the day, I could hit it 200 yards, and I would hit it from 170. If I had a tight lie, hit it out of rough, you can hit it out of divots. And I still got that club in my bag, although I don't hit it near as good as I used to. But hybrids have saved my career. When the length started getting longer and longer, I was out there hitting my hybrid in there inside, guys' 8-irons. They didn't like me doing that, but I'd go up to them, hey, nice 8-iron. Just laugh at them.
There we are. Good question. Who else has a question? Here we are. Back. I'll go to you first.
Hi guys, a fun question for you. How many holes in one have you had?
I I've had about 22. I kind of lost track. 22. You know how many opportunities I've had? There's been a lot of par 3s. None of them on a par 4. But I tell you, whenever this comes up, my dad had 2 in his life there in the same round. So that was pretty cool. He came home really drunk.
Now this is quite a strange one. I've had 11, only 11, half of yours, but I've had 13 albatrosses.
What? That's amazing.
13.
I one of those.
The reason I'm asking that question
That's amazing.
is just because I've had 10.
Well done.
Well done, well done, well done.
What'd you play off?
I'm 13 now, but I'm 77 years old.
That's impressive.
I did play off 5 and 6 at one time.
Very good.
Round of applause for you.
Every hole in one. No albatross.
Any albatrosses?
Why?
Did you really? Well, that's fantastic.
Well, that makes up 11.
I've
There you
never had
go.
an albatross. I've seen 5. Never had.
Who else has a question? Gentleman at the back there. I've got the trainers on today. Here we go.
Hi guys. You have obviously played all over the world with so many different people. Have you ever stepped out on the first day and thought to be a competitor? What the hell are you wearing? So who's got the worst dress then? In the tour?
Anybody want to translate that? Are you talking about my skirt?
What's the question again, sorry?
Worst dress sense that you've come across on tour you've played
Worst
against?
dresser.
Dresser, yeah.
Well, about 15 years ago, Poltz had his own clothing line. He was pretty aggressive with his hairdo as well. So for me, it has to be Poltz. Anyone else? No, that's it really.
Elkington put stripes and plaids and everything
Well,
together.
Steve Elkington didn't have any class, so he
No.
had no dress sense at all. He's probably the worst one of the whole lot I've actually played with. Is definitely Elk.
Yeah, I think so. But I got a side note. So I don't think anyone else on the, well, as far as we know, on national television put a skirt on because I got outdriven by Annika, and I was fed, and I had to put a skirt on for the whole during the skins match, 2005, and I'm wearing. It was a par 5, and I put it on after that tee shot, and I had the whole hole in it. With I got to tell the story. I had to set up with Tiger. So with Tiger, Freddie Couples, me, and Annika playing the skins game. So we're up on the green, and you know how, women get down properly, and they have their legs together like that, and I get down. I had about a 20-foot birdie putt. Tiger's already behind the hole, waiting for me to help line me up, and I just get down. So, Tiger, what do you think? And he goes, I think it's 1, no, 2 balls out. So I'm the worst dresser on tour, that's what it is.
Did you find them comfy, the skirts? Or?
It was kind of, yeah.
Okay, and that was in 2005, was it?
Yes.
Another memorable thing happened to you in 2005. You won the Players, didn't you? At 48 years old. Amazing.
Yeah, that's how I got into skins game. I got into skins game because of the Players.
Absolutely. So just quickly for all of us here, golf's a sport like no other. It's unique. You can play it for a lot longer, obviously not at both of your levels for the rest of us. But what's the secret to longevity in the game?
Stubbornness, I think, is one. I think you got to take care of yourself. It's hard on the road. It's life on the road. It's not really glamorous at all. There's also a lot of overuse injuries, I'm going to call it, because we have a lot of injuries where, for me right now, I got a torn cartilage in my wrist from hitting the ground so much, and I got a terrible back, just overuse hitting a lot of balls, and especially when you get to the senior tour, everybody's aching somewhere, and it's just a matter of how you deal with it. There's been a lot of guys that have had career-ending injuries just from preparing to play golf, or all the hitting the balls and everything else. Something goes awry, and it's just hard to stay healthy. But I think it's, now there's a lot of training and stuff. Actually, guys are getting hurt because they're training so hard. And not even from golf, they're trying to train for golf and trying to train to get stronger and get longer. And the way they're swinging nowadays is they're getting hurt because of their, just the way they're taxing their body right now. I just was watching the Tour Championship yesterday, or last night, and his back is killing him. They said it's not golf related, I guarantee he did it. A little spasm from working out with his weight. And I think that's got to be really careful. The club, to me, is only so heavy. It's not that heavy. It's not like you got to go out there and bench 400 pounds to swing your golf club. DeChambeau got really huge there for a while to support the speed that he was generating with the club. But I think he found that it was hard to maintain that kind of girth that he had. That wasn't natural for him. And now he's down to a normal looking, how he looked before, leaner and meaner. And I think those are the guys that have more of the longevity. And but you just never know. It's a lot of overuse stuff. What do you think?
I concur. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the game of golf has evolved over the last 20 years or so, 25 years. Lucky enough to be in 3 different generations. Like in '93 was my first year on tour, and that's been Sandy Lyle, and I was playing over in Europe, and there was different shapes, you could say, woozy, but all amazing players. Then all of a sudden, Tiger came along, but never saw anybody in the locker room, no physios, no personal trainers anywhere, and he just completely changed the mentality of fitness within golfers, and now it's just everywhere. As part of your routine now is senior PT, an hour before you leave and get stretched, and then you go and play, and after you play you practice and get stretched after that, and maybe go to the gym and whatever. So it's completely changed since then. It's like a 5 hours, sorry. It's 14 hours of preparation and after you play. So it's a long day. But yeah, I definitely agree. I've been lucky enough not to have any injuries really. Well, I'm 10 years younger than you. How old are you? 64.
67.
67, so that's 13 years. But I've been pretty lucky because I caught the end of the whole training system, because I had my personal trainer as well since I was like 25 to about 40. So that's kept me in good stead.
Yeah, but you were country strong. You were natural. No, you were naturally strong.
Yeah, I'm obviously from New Zealand. I used to play rugby.
There you go.
And
that's all you need to say.
But I realised I wasn't big enough, fast enough, strong enough to play rugby, so I thought I'd give. But I want to tell you a funny story. How I started playing golf. My father, he cut down a 6-iron for me when I was about 7, 8 years old, and we played on this golf course. It was a farm. Had fences around the greens to keep the sheep out. There's sheep everywhere, no holes. And we couldn't afford tees, so I used to collect dried up sheep shit and tee the ball up. And then, but these certain shapes of sheep shit are very, very good for tees. So I used to collect them in my pockets, right? So I used to go home after playing, and my mum was pretty upset because I smelled like sheep shit. So that's how. There's very humble beginnings, you could say, and so that's how I started playing, just through, because golf wasn't a very massive sport in New Zealand. Rugby is the main sport, right? And so I was the first Maori, I'm a Maori, to turn professional, to win on the European Tour, to win a major. So I kind of broke the mold, and that was we say, what's your why you do it? And I wanted to prove to the world that Maoris can play golf as well as rugby.
It's hard to get a playing partner with all that shit in your pocket.
smell a lot better now. Okay, I'm going to open up to the
I
floor.
don't smell a thing.
Any more questions on the floor? Where are we going to? Well, we do have one from the live stream. Another memorable date, significant time, 2005, was for you, Michael, again. The US Open winner, beating Tiger Woods in his prime. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, how long have we got here?
I mean, everyone's looking like they're not wanting to go anywhere, so you carry on.
Well, let's rewind. It started 2005. I played like 5 events and shooting 80s. Couldn't see the fairway, 3 putting. You know, I missed 5 cuts in a row. I said to my coach, "I'm going to come and see you in America." Spent, it was around March, April, 5 weeks, just for 9 hours a day on the range. My hands are bleeding. And all of a sudden we found this, I call it a golden nugget. I thought, well, that was really nice.
A swing thought.
Yeah, a swing thought, yeah.
There you go. The old nugget that you got out of that shit in your pocket.
So I found this golden nugget in my swing. I came back to Europe, I finished top 10, top 5, top whatever. I was playing very, very well. And then for the first time ever, the USGA had international qualifying outside America. And it was in Walton Heath. And Walton Heath is about 45 minutes from where I was living in Brighton. So I thought, oh, I must go. You know, I'll go to the US Open qualifying. And I'm playing the last hole. There's 2 rounds of golf. So the last hole, I go 10-footer for birdie. And my playing partner putted before me, and I had to move my marker because I was right in line with his putt. And he missed, and I aimed more left, and it went in. And I was the last person to qualify for the US Open. So I just scraped in at 4 under, I think it was. And then the rest is history, really. When I went to Pinehurst, I liked the golf course. It wasn't long, but it was tight, and I was playing well. The distance control with my iron play was great, hitting it off the tee great, and Pinehurst is. And I wrote down, because I love cars, I wrote down second-hand Porsche, Carrera 2, 5 years old, 20,000 miles on it, 25,000 pounds to buy it. That was my goal. So back in those days, you used to have those filofax things, diaries. And then, so what I did, I wrote 911 on my golf ball. Instead of putting like a dot or a dash, whatever you do, you know, I wrote 911 on my golf ball. So the first round, I shoot, I think, even par. Anyway, after 3 rounds, I'm like 5th. And like 4 shots behind Retief Goosen. So all of a sudden, I crossed out the second-hand Porsche, and I put down brand new Porsche. So this is a Saturday night. Brand new Porsche, seal grey. I was visualising the brake capillars, upgrading the exhaust pipes, upgrading the engine. I was visualising the interior. So I played a game within the game. So this is not, I'm telling the truth here. During the last round, I think after 7 holes I'm leading. I think Tiger's one behind me because Retief just fell away. And all I was thinking about was my Porsche. I swear on my son's life. And so it was a great distraction. And as soon as I sunk the putt, I'm thinking, yes, I got a Porsche. Oh, and the US Open trophy. So that's the story.
Love that. What are your thoughts on the golf course then, Fred? I'm sure you've got plenty.
I have so many thoughts that I can't even remember all my thoughts that I have so many thoughts. Sometimes it's pure panic. And then there's other times I just really enjoy it because I'm playing so good and you're hitting the ball good. You're just kind of in the zone and you just go out there and you play and you seem to be setting up a lot of birdies and you're making a few and everything's really cool. What is that? We don't get thunder in Scotland. We're way north in Scotland. Wow.
need to tell a scary story now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it is. But yeah, it's funny. You think of so many different things, and I tell you what's crazy about the game of golf is that when you're, it's whether you're in a place and you're playing great golf, and it still traps you because maybe I can get a little bit better or something, and then you lost it. You are struggling with your game, whether you're ever going to play good again in your life, and usually that can go on for a while too, and then you just find that nugget. You find that little swing key that makes a big difference. We're always searching, and I think that's why when you see the pros on the range, almost to a man, we're working on the most basic fundamentals you can possibly be working on with balance, setup, and ball position, and just trying to make contact. And when you start hitting the ball solid, you're always wanting that first, and then you can start shaping shots and control trajectory and do all that. But if you're struggling with that, you're trying to find, God, what was that swing key I had? And then you find it. And sometimes you only find it for that night because you wake up the next day and that what worked 12 hours ago doesn't work again. That's happened to me. I've been through 8 swing thoughts in 8 holes today in the front nine. I was hitting it so bad. And finally I just went back to an old swing key on the back nine, and I hit the ball a lot more solid, and finally I could let it go. Everything else I was just couldn't swing. So you're always looking within the fundamentals of the game and the fundamentals that you have. Our fundamentals they're right there. They're always there. It's how you work your swing within those fundamentals. And I can go on a lot longer with that. But everybody gets trapped in that. It's not just the guys that play it at the highest level. And you're trying to always find it. But when you go to the range, really try to work on really good posture. And I'll give you a quick golf lesson here. It'll only take a second. But the most common thing that everybody can do is a good golf posture, good setup. That setup, and a lot of people think golf is totally unrelated to every other sport. But if you think of a tennis server, a guy, you're receiving a tennis serve or a shortstop in baseball, linebacker in football, no matter what position, they get in a position I call balance or movement. So you're right here, your knees are flexed, your butt's behind you, your weight is evenly distributed, heel to toe, right or left, because you don't know where the guy's going to go or where the ball's going to go, so you've got to be able to react. Well, that's the exact position you get in golf. It's this right here. I'm just in a position I can go any direction, I can react. And that's what you want to get. And that's the biggest difference in golf versus the other sports is most of the sports are reactive sports, and if you're any kind of athlete at all, it becomes kind of natural. The more you can make it more reactive in golf, where you just sit here and you're in a relaxed. It sounds so freaking stupid and simple, but it really is, and that's all you're trying to do. And you're just trying to find the bottom. The more you make compensations everywhere, the more the bottom changes, and you're all over the damn place and you can't hit the ball. And really, the game is how good are your misses, because how often you hit that pure shot. And the pure shot? Yeah, even Hogan said that. Hogan back in the day, he said I might hit 3 or, now his standards were really high, but he was 3 to 5 shots around that he just hit perfect. And that's the best player in his era. It's unbelievable. So that's how hard it is. But how good are your misses? Can you keep them in front of you? On this golf course, your misses better be a lot tighter than on most golf courses. We hadn't even played it in wind yet. Well, you did on Tuesday, I think. Did I play Tuesday? I played 9 holes on Tuesday. But Monday, I got here Monday, it was blowing so hard. I didn't want to touch a club out on the golf course. But anyway, it's just a simple little tidbits that we're always trying to look for on the range and take it to the golf course and try to make it as simple as you can. And I always think that if you're thinking, and this is where I am right now, if you're over the ball and I'm thinking of everything I'm doing right here, I'm not playing very good. If I'm thinking of where I want to hit it, I'm playing really good. So that's my focus is, I know I'm going to hit it over there. I'm just going to hit it there. So the more you try to get in the zone as you're thinking about, you're reacting to the target and the elements and everything else. So that was my quick clinic.
Thank you. What a treat. Yeah. He is, to be keep it simple, I'm sure we can all do that. You've got a question, this is the very last one. No pressure.
Hello, I'm a farmer. Would you like me to take in some sheep shit for tomorrow?
There you are. This is yours. It's yours. You knew it was. There we go. Brilliant.
You can't beat that one.
You can't end on that one, don't you? Definitely ended on a high. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give them a big round of applause. Thank you so much for your time. Fred Funk and Michael Campbell. Right, guys, one more thing. Yes, one more thing. We've got a handout second prize. Who are you going to give that to?
What we couldn't understand.
Well, we couldn't understand. There we are. There we are. It was about the best dress. That was a good question, actually, about the skirt. Oh, yeah, you go. I think it was at the back, wasn't it? Unless he's gone. You think he didn't deserve it. There we are. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.